Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. We have Boys High and St. John's great. He's an NBA veteran and the former president of the NBA Retired Players Association. Help me welcome New York City legend, Mel Killer Davis. And oh yeah, tonight's episode is sponsored by Styles by Nita, Unique Creations, and tonight's special sponsor, Voodoo Faye Art Shop. That's right, Voodoo Faye Art Shop, located at 572 Myrtle Avenue. Oh yeah. You can get things like this. Because this is what we do here at Basketball Heads. We spread love. The Brooklyn way.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. 30. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
All right.
Hey, Glenn, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing this evening?
I'm hanging in there, buddy. Everything is great.
Oh, man. Yo, listen, you are shining right now. I know you told me, how old you said you were again?
I'm 69 and a half. I'll be 70 in November.
70, and you look like you 50 years old, man.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Oh, man. I wish, I aged as well as you, my brother.
Thank you. Well,
the first thing we like to ask everyone come on the show is, who introduced you to the game?
Back in Bed-Stuy, I was a swimmer. My brother and I, we swam every day, and I really wanted to be a swimmer. And one summer I grew about 4 or 5 inches, and we just started playing basketball. There was a local team at my junior high school, 271, called the Uptowners. And I played on this team, and I was still learning the game. I was kind of awkward, but it was my first start, and I played for my junior high school. That's how it all started.
271. Definitely. I remember those days. I think now 271 is the Eagle Academy schools now. It's a high school now.
Is that right?
Yep. So all boys. It's an all boys academy. They have schools in every borough.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Brooklyn has changed. A lot of the schools have changed.
Oh, yeah. A lot of things have changed.
Surprisingly, yes.
So what was the first team you were on?
As I just mentioned, it was the Uptowners. And then from there, I just continued to play and perfect my skills. And I had to gain a little bit of weight, so I started lifting weights. And slowly but surely, I was being introduced to important people in the basketball world like Lester Roberts, Raul Perez. I heard about Boys High School, Erasmus Hall, Jefferson High School.
Right.
So then I thought I was good enough to play for these teams. So I was looking at playing for one of these high school teams.
Okay. So at the time, who was the best player in your neighborhood?
The older men in my neighborhood, I'd have to say Freddie Lewis, Mike Davis. These are players in the neighborhood that I had heard about that were playing, and I would go and watch them play. And Tony Jackson, I heard about Connie. He's a little bit older than me, but this is all Bed-Stuy.
Okay, all right. So back in the days, right? You grew up in Brevoort, right?
Yes, I did.
I was talking to Slim. He went to Oral Roberts. Slim, he played, I forgot his first name. I was just talking to him today. He remembers you, and he remembers playing against you. How was it like growing up in Brevoort back in those days?
You know, Brevoort was interesting. My family was supported me 150%. We were millionaires with support. Anything I wanted to do, they were behind me. We didn't have a lot of money, but I had a lot of support and encouragement. And my parents told me that education was definitely the vehicle to get out of the situation and try to excel. And hopefully, if I'm good enough and if I'm lucky enough, maybe basketball could give me an opportunity to go to college. So Brevoort, I had people in Brevoort that really looked up to, who looked out for me and protected me, like Freddie Lewis, Johnny Jones. There was a host of guys. It's so long ago. You got me really thinking 50 years ago. But,
right.
I used to go to 21 Center. That's where I really perfected my skills at that center. They had a day center. They had an after-school center. And I would just live in 21 Park. And then when I wasn't playing in the park, I would go inside after school and play there, as well as the Police Athletic League, the Boys Welcome Hall, which was right next door to 21. So between the two of them, that helped me really perfect my skills and practice as much as I'd like to.
Okay. Well, the great Coach Haskins said the gentleman's name is Slim Montgomery.
Oh, sure. We grew up together. He went to Franklin K. Lane, I believe.
Yes, Franklin K. Lane. Yes, he did say that. Yep.
Yes, we battled quite a bit. We played in a lot of tournaments against one another. And good friend, dear friend. And it's been some time now since we played against one another. I can't really remember, but we had some good times, some peaks and some valleys. And I enjoyed it. It helped me perfect my skills, and I'm sure I helped him perfect his skills.
How was he as a player?
Slim?
Yes.
Oh, he was smooth. He had a lot of moves down low, if I can remember correctly. And he had a very nice shot. And but he wasn't as aggressive, I would say, as I was. I was pretty much an aggressive player. But he was a good player.
Oh, yes, thank you. And I still see him in the neighborhood. And everyone said he used to be very good, very fine gentleman, very fine, respectful gentleman. Yes. So who was your toughest competition back then?
You know, I played in so many tournaments. It was really important. I had a strategy talking to the older gentleman that was in Brevoort, and they told me, you're not going to really learn that much playing against players your age. You need to play against guys older than you so they can teach you what they know. So what I would do, I would play with the older fellas in the neighborhood, like Mike Davis and Donnie Black, Gerald Davis, et cetera, et cetera. And then I would go to St. John's Recreation Center, and they had all the players up there who were older. Excuse me. And excuse me. And I would play against them. And there was also players from other schools and other neighborhoods. We would all kind of converge on St. John's Recreation Center, and that helped me out tremendously. So there was a whole host of players all over Brooklyn that we all came together. We played against each other in tournaments, and it worked out well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a lot of guys who have came on said they have gotten better by playing with the older guys, you know, learning how to set a pick, learning how to move without the ball, and all those little nuances that you pick up playing with older guys, than guys your age, especially the guys who you're better than.
Absolutely. So when you played against someone your age, you had to step up on them. You were advanced. And you used that to your advantage. And it worked in many instances.
So you went to boys and girls, right? Well, boys high, not boys and girls. It's boys and girls now. You
That's
went to
correct.
boys high. Big difference.
That's correct. But I'm glad it is boys and girls now. But at the time, it was boys high, and that was a very good time in my life. I met Howie Jones through Lester Roberts. I went to see Boys High play, and it was very intimidating because they were so dominant. And I'll never forget they were playing Jefferson. And I said, man, they're really advanced. I said, I don't know if I could make this team if I even play for this school. So at halftime, Lester Roberts took me into the locker room, and Howie Jones didn't have a lot of time to talk to me, but he came over to me and he said, son, I heard a lot about you, and I know you're going to have a very nice career wherever you go. But he said, if you're as good as you think you are, you come to Boys High and we'll see how good you really are. So I was like blown away. I was like, So I thought about it and I said, I'm going to Boys High because that's where the elite players were going. And just to make the team was really an achievement. But to have an opportunity to star and win some championships, I mean, that was icing on the cake.
Wow. And did you go to your 9th grade year?
Pardon me?
Did you go there from 9th grade on?
No, I was at 271. I attended Boys High in the 10th grade, 10, 11, and 12.
Got you. So it's a little bit different. Okay. Did you make the team as a 10th grader?
Not only did I make the team, I started the second half of the season. And then that year they stopped the playoffs because there was some discrepancy in regards to who had the home court advantage and who didn't. But my junior and senior year, Boys High won the city championship. Wow. I'm happy to say that. And Howie Jones, I mean, his record is impeccable. I think in the 10 years that he coached at Boys High, he won 8 championships. They stopped it 1 year, and he was the runner-up. And I still have a relationship with him today. He's 90 years old, but he's having some difficulty. He had a stroke and he had a heart attack. And it's very tough for me to communicate and to see him in that state. But I owe him a lot of gratitude because he really took me under his wing and gave me a lot of advice. And he helped me tremendously. And it was really like a father-son relationship. And I love him for what he's done for me, and a lot of things he instilled in me is some of the things I instilled in my children today, as well as giving back to the community.
Yeah, that's another thing that sticks out when I talk to people in the neighborhood. When I walked around the last couple of days and was talking to people in the neighborhood, everyone, especially the ball players, remember the day you came and you had like a one-on-one contest, a jumping contest, and you bought trophies. And no, I'm talking about grown men who are in their 50s and 60s. They're still talking about it today, to this day.
Well, that's very nice. When I signed with the Knicks at the end of my rookie year, I came back to my neighborhood and I gave them a Junior Olympics. And we had a park, and that's the same park where I perfected my skills in Brevoort Park. And we had various events, and it was wonderful. The whole community came out. We had a good time. And I'm very happy that they still remember that. Hopefully that made an impact, and they remember that.
Did.
And they give back to their community as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was speaking to one of my guys, Vaughn, and he definitely remembers that. And he was one of the good ball players back then, Little Vaughn. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So going back to your Boys High days, we have something in common, right? Because I went to Lincoln. And to this day, Lincoln and Boys High have 14 city championships. And DeWitt Clinton is in the lead with 18.
Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, I got to make sure when I see Tiny Archibald and Ron B. Hagan, I got to correct that.
Oh, man, you listen, I was corrected by Charles Jones, right? I said that we all three of us were tied for the first in the city. Charles said, I think you need to recount that, big bro. And I recounted it, and DeWitt Clinton got us by 4.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's fabulous. Good for them. That's
great.
Oh,
listen, I would love to have Tiny Archibald on the show. I would love for you to nominate him, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So, this part of the show, right? Okay, I'm not gonna get to that question yet. That's bless you.
Thank you.
Who did you look up to as a ball player? Was it Mike Davis?
Well, I heard about people like Tony Jackson and Connie, and I want to know what type of game they had. And we didn't have the sophistication we have right now, so I could really see them play, unless you see them play in person. But I really didn't pattern my game after anybody in particular. I just tried to be the best I possibly could at whatever skills that I was developing.
That's good, because like yourself, I didn't start out playing basketball. I started out playing football, and then I grew 5 inches, and then I went to Lincoln and got in the basketball team. But that transition from swimming, right? You say you was
I was a swimmer, yes.
You was a swimmer to basketball. Did that help you build up your strength and make you strong?
Well, it built up my endurance. And my brother, who I've done everything with my brother. My brother, Sylvester Davis, he played as well. He played with Ingram Montgomery at Lane. And he's an excellent ball player. And we learned how to swim together. We learned how to play basketball together. We played on tournaments together. And he's my best friend. That's my brother. And also, we're 9 months apart. So we're just almost like twins. We're almost like twins. But yeah, that's what was the question again? I'm sorry.
It was just talking about the transition from swimming to basketball. Because mine was, my toughness came from me playing football, right? That's where my toughness came from. Even though I wasn't as a physical player, but with the swimming, and since you were such an aggressive player, I just thought that helped you. And you said that helped you with your endurance. So that's a plus.
Oh, absolutely. And then from the swimming, and then when I started playing basketball, I started lifting weights. And I like to rebound. So with that came the aggressiveness, and the rest is history.
Oh, yeah. Averaging 17.5 rebounds is crazy in big-time basketball. So,
I think I got a couple.
So at the time in New York City, who were some of the top players in New York City during that time?
Oh, we
Besides
had Robert Young from Canarsie. We had Charlie Davis from Brooklyn Tech. We had, who do we have at Jefferson? We had Gibson at Erasmus Hall. And I believe they had also Ron Cargill. Wingate, they had Bernard Harden. I think at Tilden, they had Jocko Jackson. I mean, Brooklyn had a host of players everywhere, anywhere you went. And so when we had tournaments, it was like the city championship, because everybody came together and we enjoyed each other's company and also playing against each other. And we learned from each other. We were dear friends then, and we're dear friends today. It was fabulous.
And rest in peace to the late, great Jocko Jackson. How was Jocko as a ball player?
Well, Jocko, who's a dear friend of mine, and he's a legend in Brownsville.
Yes.
He was a very serious guard, and he had legs on him amazingly, and he could jump. He had all types of skills, shooting, dribbling, jumping, etc. And I played against him in one of the playoff games at Boys High, I recall. And then also, we were teammates on the Knicks together for a year. And we remained dear friends until he passed away, unfortunately.
Wow. All right, now, this is the question, right? The Brevoort Coliseum. How active was the Brevoort Coliseum when you were younger?
Well, to put it in perspective, it was my brother was very instrumental in helping getting that built, by the way, Sylvester. But if you played in the Coliseum, it was like a mini Madison Square Garden. I mean, they had the lights. It was set up like a Coliseum. It was beautiful. And the whole neighborhood came out to see you play. And you had to bring your A game, because if you brought your B game, they would remind you when the game was over. So you had to bring your A game and take care of business. And majority of the time, everyone did. And you had
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. So during that time, who did you remember getting the best of? And, you know, you having the crowd, you know, going to a frenzy. I know it had to be a great matchup with, you know, you're from Brevoort, right? And I know guys was coming there to challenge you. You being the best guy, because it happened to me. So I know it happened to you.
Well, it's a long time ago, to be honest with you, Bliss. I really don't remember any specifics. But I can tell you that I was always up for the challenge. And I had the advantage because I'm from Brevoort. And so quite naturally, I had the crowd supporting me and my team. So, again, they had to bring it. If they didn't bring it, they had a problem.
That's real. That's real. Where did you get the name Killer from?
Being a rookie on the Knicks, and as you know, the Knicks were an established team, and they had just won the championship the previous year. So here comes this young buck, and I'm trying to get me some minutes, and I'm saying, well, you know, I can make a contribution as well. Well, Red Holzman, you know, rest in peace, he wasn't really big on rookie players and young players. He liked veteran players. So if you made a mistake, you know, he yanked you out of the game. So you really couldn't get any consistency. So in practice, I got a chance to play. So in practice, I was there a half an hour before the regular team came into practice. So I was a little overly aggressive, and my roommate at the time, Willis Reed, he named me Killer, and it's stuck ever since. And that's what, you know, my teammates call me today. They don't call me Mel, they call me Killer with love.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, you guys win a championship your junior and senior year, boys and girls. And who's recruiting you at this time?
Well, you know, I had a choice to go to any school I really wanted to go to. I had about 250 scholarships. But of course, you narrow it down to 3 or 4 or 5 schools, which I did. And I visited Marquette. I visited North Carolina. I was considering Duke. I was considering St. John's, and I was considering another school. But Coach Carnesecca, who was coaching at the time, he asked me to make my last visit St. John's University. He wanted me to go visit all the other schools, talk to all of the other schools, but make St. John's the last visit. So Solly Walker, the great Solly Walker, who was the first African-American to play for St. John's, was also encouraging me to consider St. John's heavily. So after I went to all the other schools, I went to St. John's. Lou Carnesecca took me in the office, and he started telling me all of the right reasons why I need to stay in New York because everybody else was leaving. I had the Knicks here, I had the Nets here, I had the New York Press here, I had Madison Square Garden, and my family could see me play. Recipe for success. The rest is history. I stayed, but unfortunately, I never played for Lou Carnesecca because when I came to St. John's as a freshman, during that time, freshmen couldn't play varsity ball, so I had to wait till my sophomore year.
Hold on for a sec. Hold on, Mr. Davis. Your volume is going real low for some reason.
Is the battery?
No, your battery full, right?
The battery is full. Can you hear
Huh?
me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's kind of low. It wasn't like it was before. We can come back out and come back in. I'm not going to lose you.
How about now? Can you hear me, Glenn?
Yes, clear. This is awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for your patience, too.
Oh, not at all. That's fine. But let me finish elaborating about what I was talking about going to St. John's University and not being able to play varsity until my sophomore year. So when I move up from the freshman team to the varsity my sophomore year, Coach Carnesecca goes to the ABA to coach the Nets. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So I was devastated because I came here to play for him.
Right.
So I wound up for my freshman coach my freshman year, sophomore year, and my junior year. And also at this time, the ABA was becoming established. And I was thinking about leaving school early, my sophomore year, to sign with the ABA or the NBA, and eventually my junior year. But I got injured my junior year, and I was rehabbing my leg. I took the year off, but I still went first round in the ABA and the NBA. Coach Carnesecca comes back, but I decided it's a business decision. I got to leave. So I left and I signed with the Knicks. But I never played with Coach Carnesecca, but he recruited me to go to St. John's. And we have a very good professional, loving relationship now. As a matter of fact, he calls me every 2 weeks, even now, and he's 96.
Wow. That's awesome. You know, the last gentleman who I just interviewed was from St. John's. His name is Maurice Fresh Brown. He played for St. John's. And Lou Carnesecca recruited him. And right before he could play for Lou Carnesecca, he retired.
There you go.
There you go. So we got another story like that. So salute to Lou Carnesecca, great coach.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Things happen. There's peaks and valleys, and there's a business decision involved, and you understand that going in. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But I have no regrets. St. John's was a wonderful experience for me. I acquired my degree in marketing, and it has been a big asset for me in my post-career.
Wow. So now you get drafted first round, 1973. New York City is on fire, right? It's the old New York, right? It's not the New York what it is now. A lot of coaches going on, a lot of things is happening in the 70s. How was New York City at the time, from your perspective?
Well, it was, first of all, to grow up in New York and to dream about playing basketball, your sport that you love and you would play for free, play for St. John's, and then play for the Knicks. I mean, that's a dream come true. For anybody, that's a dream come true. How many people live their dreams? Very, very few. And that's why I have no regrets. I only played 4 years. That's okay. But, you know, God is good. I got a second opportunity to play, and I went to Europe. And I played in Italy, France, and Switzerland. And that experience superseded the NBA in many respects. Learning another culture, another language, relationships, and I have lasting relationships today. So I had 2 great experiences playing basketball professionally, total of 9 years. So it was great for me. Then when I come back to New York, my career is over. People forgot about Mel Davis, so I have to reestablish myself, which took me some time, and I did, and I had my degree to fall back on because I didn't know really which direction I wanted to go into, but I went into marketing, and I wound up working for PepsiCo in their fast food division. And then from there, I was lucky enough to be selected to work for the NBA through Tom Satch-Standards and David Stearns, and it was fabulous. You know, I wound up playing, excuse me, I wound up spending 10 years with the NBA, and after working for their most valuable asset, which is the players, orientating the players coming into the league and helping them with their transition out of the league, which is very, very difficult. And then after doing that for 10 years, I decided to move on even further, and there was an opportunity from Dave Bing and Oscar Robertson to run the NBA Retired Players Association. And that's when I met the ABA players, the Harlem Globetrotters, the NBA players, and eventually the WNBA players. And I helped them with the same situation, medical, post-career. I went over to Europe. I took tours with the players. I helped them with counseling. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Wow. Not only you're a legend on the court, you're definitely a legend off the court.
Well, thank you. I've had some varied interests and some varied positions, and I have lasting relationships with all of those guys at the moment. It's fabulous. You know something, I'm really blessed, and God is good.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. So to bring us full circle, you know, from different generations, did the same thing, kind of had the same dreams, and be having this conversation right now means a lot.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Definitely, definitely. So one of the reasons why I wanted to do this show is because I wanted the youngsters to learn about the history of New York City basketball. The other day, I ran into some young men who was coming from playing basketball, and these gentlemen play high school basketball. One went to George Westinghouse, another went to Franklin K. Lane, and another went to William E. Grady. And I was asking these young men about former players who came before them, who went to their schools. And these gentlemen didn't know. I didn't blame them. I just told them, you know, tap into basketball heads, and at least you can learn about some of the guys who came before you. And New York City basketball is on life support right now. We're not sending a lot of players to college, at least to be Division I ready. The grades are slacking, the morale is down, and a lot of coaches are not coming to New York City to find players. Not only that, kids are leaving New York City early and becoming successful other places. So I wanted to kind of use this show to bridge the gap from yesterday's generation to the present and everything in between. So gentlemen like yourself, Pat Alphonse, Mo Fresh Brown, John Johnson, who will be on here soon, Norm Roberts, and all the other people, Coach Haskins, who's been on the show. We appreciate you guys because these young guys need to know who Mel Davis is.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And hopefully I can give them some encouragement and motivation so they can realize their dreams as well.
Yes. On the side note, what do a gentleman like yourself do to keep yourself in shape and looking so physically fit?
Well, thank you so much. As you know, Glenn, that's an excellent question. You know, going on 70 years old and semi-vegetarian. I'm trying to become a vegetarian, but it's tough. My wife is.
I'm trying too. I'm trying. It's tough.
My wife is a vegetarian, and she's motivating me, but I'm working on it. But, you know, I juice a lot. I try to eat a lot of plant-based foods. I also try to stay active. I've had 8 operations. I'm almost bionic, but taking yoga classes, I get massages, and also martial arts, and just walking a lot, just being active. I ride a bike. I lift some weights. Just recently, 6 months ago, I had my shoulder replaced, a total shoulder replacement, so I'm doing therapy for that. But you just have to stay active, and what you put in your temple, which is your body, that's what comes out. So you got to make sure you eat the best food, plant-based, nothing but high fructose corn syrup. Just make sure you eat as much foods as natural as possible to take care of your body. And as we get older, we get more susceptible to getting diseases, injuries, etc.
Thank you, thank you. And that question was for my guy, Arthur Lee Walker, you know, the fit man himself. So that's good. Yeah, definitely. So, who was the best player in high school, college, and the pros? 3 players that you played against.
Okay. Well, in high school, it was real easy. Charlie Davis from Brooklyn Tech, he got 50 points on us. So Howie Jones said, listen, let him get his. We stop everybody else as long as we have 1 point more than Brooklyn Tech. And sure enough, we put everybody on. I got a little bit of that too. And he's a great player. He went down to Wake Forest, and he did very well at Wake Forest. And he's a legend down there now. That's high school. College, no doubt about it, Austin Carr from Notre Dame. He came in and he served us very well. We were not successful at winning the game, but as you know, it's not about the statistics, it's about winning.
That's right.
And St. John's, we were independent at the time. We weren't in the Big East. They didn't have that then. But St. John's still did well. We went on to the NIT. Professionally, that's a very difficult question because at 6'6", I was a power forward. I was drafted to replace Dave DeBusschere, but you don't replace Dave DeBusschere. You just try to play that position and make a contribution, which I did. George McGinnis, Wes Unseld, who we just lost, by the way, who's a dear friend. Um, I mean, the list is long. With the Celtics, it was Paul Silas and Dave Cowens. Um, the list is long. So those guys I could probably point out because they were power forwards in their own right, and they were challenged on a night in and night out to guard and play against. But I was
Okay,
in a good
cool.
place at the right time and the right team. Just the coach didn't like young players, and I'm like, you could be right there. All you need to do is just get over that hump. But it is what it is, and I got no regrets. And I have lasting relationships
cool.
with that team, and we reminisce, we embellish stories. But the bottom line is what it is.
That's right. That's right. So, with all this knowledge and experience in the game you love so dearly, are you passing the torch to any of your children?
Unfortunately, I don't have a son, but I've got 3 beautiful daughters, Melanie, Marisa, and Shayna, and they're going to bless me with grandsons. And I'm having one, as a matter of fact, at the end of October, maybe in November, close to my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm happy about that. So blessings to my daughters.
That's awesome. I interacted a little bit with Melanie, I think was today. I sent her the flyer, and when I saw it again, it had Mel Killer Davis, right? I was just like, wow. It's crazy because I was just coming from outside and someone referred to you as that. Because the first set of flyers, I didn't have that on there.
Right.
Well, she brought the whole thing to the table. So thank you, Melanie. I appreciate
it. Okay. You know how ladies are. I got 3 of them.
Yes. Wow. She's very beautiful, definitely. So I know you do a foundation dinner. You was talking to me about early on that you did do a dinner with Walt Frazier at the Walt Frazier's restaurant.
Yes, 7 years ago, I went to Brooklyn. It has such rich history, and there's so many players and so many relationships. And I said, we need to do something to get together because we only get together at funerals, and that's sad. So I went to Clyde. I said, Clyde, can we have your restaurant for 4 hours so guys can get together? He said, Mel, anything you want. So Clyde allowed us to come to his restaurant for 4 hours, and we all get together over appetizers and cocktails, embellish stories, reminisce. Clyde's got the music going. He comes, Earl comes, Butch Beard comes, Bill Willoughby. We had everybody coming, guys from Jersey, Ronaldo Webster, Vinnie Harris, just guys that played the game. You played against them in tournaments. We all old now, but we just get together, buy each other drinks, and embellish stories. And we haven't had it because of the pandemic. But what's the sad part about it, every year we have it, I have to read off a list of guys that were there last year, that's not there this year. Yeah. That's the main reason why we have it. Every year, Glenn, we lose 8 to 10 guys. And that's sad.
Wow.
So we can take 4 hours out of our busy schedule for the year to come together, to break bread, and talk about what we used to be able to do. I just had a conversation with Bubba Gary, who's in the Bronx. And also, I'm going to be talking to Tiny and Miles Dorch as well from the Manhattan and the Bronx, and bring them in as well. So it's going to basically be a New York City situation once this pandemic is over.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Walt Frazier Wine and Dine, and hopefully Walt Frazier's restaurant Wine and Dine will reopen, because that is really a staple. And really, I'm really proud of him because that restaurant's doing very, very well. And he opened his arms up to us, and we embraced it.
Yeah, definitely an awesome restaurant. I've been there several times myself. A dear friend of mine, Laurel Hendricks, who played for Grady High School. We battled against each other for years, and we're still close. He came up with the same idea for a basketball heads reunion. Like all the guys from our era, a lot of guys that we interview and talk to, that we should do, whether it's a dinner, a picnic, a barbecue or something, just a gathering, again, to do like you guys, embellish stories, tell, some of our truths and just reminisce on the days that we played and to keep that fire going. Because a lot of these stories, you know, keeps people alive, to give people hope for a better tomorrow, right? And the insight on how great they were or still is or can be. So that I'm glad that you brought that up again. So I'm definitely going to reach out to Laurel and tell him that's something that we should do.
Okay, absolutely.
So with our last question, I would like to ask, is there someone that you would like to nominate to come on Basketball Heads? Like I said, I threw it out there, Tiny Archibald. But you think about it, you know, if you have somebody off the top of your head, you can say it. If not, you just let me know, and I appreciate it.
No problem. I'll definitely help you out. And there's quite a few ball players in New York City as well as referees. And one person who comes to mind is Ronnie Nunn, who was a great ball player in his time. And then he became an excellent referee. And he also refereed the finals. And he could be a great resource as well. So I can give you a list of guys, you know, Kenny Charles, Mike Davis, Orlando Webster from New Jersey, Mo Layton from New Jersey. I mean, Vinny Harris. There's a ton of guys out here.
Wow, that will be awesome. I would really appreciate that.
Well, sure,
I really
I can do
appreciate
that.
So you have any last words for our audience before I show you your great portrait?
Well, thank you so much, Clint. You know, life is short. There's going to be peaks and valleys. And in light of what we're going through now in this economy and with this world, it's difficult. Don't ever give up. Don't ever look back. The bottom line is stay vigilant, stay strong, be firm, and be consistent. That's the bottom line. And life is precious, so enjoy it as much as you can.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's been my pleasure. I'd like to thank Coach Haskins for making this happen. This has been like a dream come true. You don't know how long I've been waiting to meet you. I've been hearing your name ever since I was a kid. It's been a pleasure. I'm just so ecstatic, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my evening. But before we do that, I would like to show a few things by a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, over 30 years. He's an artist to the stars. His name is Voodoo Faye Culture, and he has an art gallery in Brooklyn on Myrtle Avenue, 572 Myrtle Avenue, 572 Myrtle Avenue. He is definitely going to be a sponsor for the show. If y'all seen this, you see this is Nipsey Hussle. This is like, this picture right here is on the Breakfast Club. 105.1 is sitting right there in the back next to Charlemagne. This is for my birthday from this year. This is for my birthday a couple of years ago. This is called God's King.
Very nice. I like that.
These artworks go for, you know, from $1,500 to $10,000 and up. And this is for you, my brother.
Well, wonderful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's beautiful. Beautiful. And I wish him continued success.
Yeah, well, Jamel, the artist who did this, right? The artist I'm showing you is different from the artist that did this. The artist that did this is named Jamel Powell. He's also a basketball player. He played for Andrew Jackson High School and Coach Granby. He's the resident artist. Come here. Want to introduce you. This is the artist who did it.
How you doing,
How you doing?
Yeah, so
nice meeting you.
you see he got Coach Haskins here. Lamont Long, another Boys High member. So we just gotta get him out. Norm Roberts here. My guy John Arnold from Madden Center. So what we're doing right now, this week, I'm definitely going to get them out to people. I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, but we've been here. We've been busy. We've been busy here. And I just want to thank you again. Hope you liked the art piece. Hope you enjoyed the interview. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone out there, basketball heads.
Okay. You're welcome and continued success, and I enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.